ever seen one of these satisfying videos of cakes rising?
Ooh.
It looks like magic, but the real explanation goes deep into food science.
Cakes take a lot of chemical reactions to be the big, scrumptious, fluffy thing we all love. There are two main reactions that me, Anders,
And me, Devin,
from Paul Revere, will be explaining.
Before all of these reactions can start taking place, we gotta mix the dry ingredients in one bowl and the wet in another.
First, we mix the flour, sugar, salt, and baking powder. Then mix. In another bowl, we mix the egg, milk, vanilla, and melted butter, then mix.
Flour has two main proteins, glutenin and gliadin, which when mixed into the wet ingredients, it absorbs water. This causes gluten strands to form when you mix it. These strands stick together and are great for trapping little air bubbles inside. Eggs also play a huge role in the cake rising. When you beat the egg, the proteins unwind and wind back up when they're mixed in with the rest of the batter. This causes the eggs to act almost as like a glue and it keeps the rest of the cake together.
Now, how the cake rises is the second reaction we will be talking about. When you mix the batter, there are tiny pockets to hold air, but when you bake the batter, the air bubbles expand. The baking powder has an acid which gives off protons and a base which takes in protons. When these two react, they cancel out and create salt, water, and CO2. The CO2 then pushes out on the batter and causes the cake to rise in the oven.
An example of this happening in a real life situation is a hot air balloon. The hot air pushes up onto the balloon. The heat causes the less dense air to go to the top while the cooler air on the outside goes down. This is like the baking powder because instead of the heat triggering the CO2 bubbles, the heat causes the hot air to push onto the envelope, which makes the balloon float.